This is so amazing. During the 3-minute break, I'm reading over the actual intel documents from the U.S. Army, directly from the U.S. Army, posted on mainstream newspaper post. This is mainstream news. Exercise, exercise, exercise. Taking on military, U.S. former military that's planning to kill U.S. troops. See, and this has been going on forever, but now it's intensifying. And they've got riot training, you name it. First, they train the troops to take on Muslims. And they also have some of that in the drills, guys wearing headdresses. But then they just shift over and they talk about the militias are drunk and that alcohol use fanned the flames. Many military-grade firearms were openly carried at the militia compound, former U.S. military involved. So the U.S. military, this is the headline Watson needs to put up, or Kurt needs to put up. This is confirmed. I mean, you know, Kurt is a professional journalist. He's worked for major newspapers, and I love Kurt to death, but it shouldn't be, is the U.S. Army training to take on the Tea Party? It says they're training to take on the Tea Party and the militias in the documents right here. I don't even know. I want to have Dr. Bob Bowman on about other issues, but I pretty much, I'm going to get him to talk about this because, I mean, this is a subject we've got to talk about now. Folks, it's just, it's happening so fast. It's happening so furious. For PrisonPlanet.tv viewers, we'll pull the article up on screen for people where we have these documents saved. And you can go read these for yourself, dated April 23rd and April 26th. So some of this was just going on 3-4 days ago. And this is just disgusting. And I'm reading this, that militias are going to attack the Fort Knox gold depository. Give me a stinking break. I mean, is there no end to this? That's why you've got to get Police State 4, The Rise of FEMA, on DVD. And make copies and get it out to everyone you know, because we show how they're staging the terror, how they're brainwashing the military. We have military commanders on admitting they were doing gun confiscation drills in Iowa, practicing going door to door to take the guns. I mean, they're training to take our guns. They're saying we're terrorists. They're training the Boy Scouts. And the New York Times reports to, quote, take on disgruntled veterans. We have the MIAC and Homeland Security reports where they admitted over a year ago that the main target of Homeland Security is the American people. And then last week, the head of the FBI said, yes, we're shifting from Muslims to the American people. And the Muslim threat is fake to a certain extent. This is completely fake. And they're staging these events and building it up to use the military against us. And large portions of the military are already illegal aliens they've hired. Obama rallied with a bunch of illegal alien troops that they were legalizing last week. I mean, we are in so much trouble. I just can't even believe how sickening all of this is getting. The demonstration did not happen due to federal and local law enforcement influence. So they're saying they went in and stopped the demonstration. Possible raid on local white supremacist organization may have been made in the last 48 hours. And then, see, they talk about white supremacists and they say Tea Party organizers stated that they will protest at the Gold Vault at a future date. And then it talks about tracking the Tea Parties, tracking the militias, how they've got infiltrator groups in there, how the Army's working with federal and local law enforcement organizations as these groups are armed and have combative training. And some are former military snipers. Some have made explosives training experience. And it goes on to talk about their exercise to take on the Tea Parties and take on the militias, and they mix in white supremacists with it. And then meanwhile, Oklahoma passes bill outlawing militias, saying you can't have a militia, we're going to just arrest you for that. And this has got years in prison under it. I mean, they are moving against the American people. There is no doubt. It just gets worse and worse and worse by the minute. This is a red alert. Good job, Nemo, getting this up. But, I mean, we need to get Watson on this right now with headline, military training to take on Tea Parties, militias, and others, listing former military as terrorists. Okay, that is what this does. Red alert, red alert, red alert. We've got it up on Infowars.com. Kurt Nemo's got an article, Is the U.S. Army Training to Take on the Tea Party? Then it has links to mainstream news articles, mainstream newspapers that are reporting it like it's good. Military regular Army exercises with federal and local police around the country where militia groups, along with veterans, are basically preparing to attack the government. And this integrates into this entire program of control that we see expanding. I have Dr. Bob Bowman, who was on with us last week. We re-aired it Sunday. I didn't do a live show. We'll be doing a live show this Sunday. And I wanted to get him on about solutions today and how to take the country back. But separately, they had the secret space plane launch that he's an expert on, former head of the Star Wars program. This week, we were talking about it last week. Then they had a secret launch this week. We'll talk more about that. We'll also get into solutions with him. But I just talked to him during the break. He joins us via video Skype here at prisonplanet.tv and on the radio. And so we're going to be talking to him first about the paramilitary militarization of police and all the documents we've gotten where Northcom is preparing to take on the American people. And that their main target at Northcom is the American people. This is illegal. This is unconstitutional. It violates posse comitatus that they have not completely removed. And I've got Watson doing a big boil-down article with some of the backstory on this. But this is so big, and this just broke. And we've already seen leaked documents that the In the Fed rallies, Ron Paul, myself, are being watched by the Army. They tell the Army that don't let the In the Fedders know at the rallies that you're military or they may attack you. I mean, they are really getting ready to use the military against the American people. And our government has overthrown countless third world nations. They're experts on this. When they have their druthers, they want a dictatorship. In other countries, they want it here. Presidents come and go. The tyranny of the military-industrial complex only grows. Dr. Robert M. Bowman, well, I'll just introduce him in the next segment, but let's go to him now. Dr. Bowman, I just started briefing you on this, but I know you're familiar with the backstory on this. Does this concern you?
Well, of course it does. I've been speaking about this for years. The good news is they're not going to get away with it because, I've talked to a lot of military folks, and the vast majority, will not take action against the American people. They will surround us and point our guns outward to protect us from Blackwater.
Well, let's talk about the history of this, and then I'm going to go over these new leaked documents to newspapers in Kentucky and other states, and the Army is confirming that these are real. I mean, this has got to be a wake-up call to the military, Dr. Bowman, that they're being trained to engage the American people.
Yes, it is, and that's why organizations like the Oath Keepers is so important, because we've got to teach the members of the military and law enforcement in this country about the Nuremberg principles and about the Constitution and the fact that they have an absolute duty never to follow an order to engage in a war of aggression or to arrest, incarcerate, or disarm their fellow American citizens for simply exercising their constitutional right of dissent.
This is incredible. And again, they just incrementally are acclimating us to be like Guatemala or Nigeria with just troops all over the streets and mobile naked body scanners and checkpoints and just everything else that is now happening. But we'll discuss Oath Keepers when we get back. I know you've been involved with them. Here's Mother Jones. Oath Keepers in the age of treason. Meet the fast-growing patriot group that's recruiting soldiers to resist the Obama administration. That's a complete lie. They're calling for people to follow their oath. It's run by a former Ron Paul staffer. They're not calling for anything offensive. They're saying follow your oath, and we'll talk about the oath that the military and the police give. If tyranny comes to your door, it comes in a uniform. Stay there, Dr. Bob Bowman. We'll be right back with our guest on the other side. Stay with us.